Oh, what a merry making spirits bright Monday, and welcome back to another episode of the Backed by Bone podcast. As always, I am your host, Chris, aka Don Burgundy on the internet. And how's it going? How you doing? It is currently Monday, December 12th, 2022. Don't have a whole lot to talk about today because I don't have a whole lot going on. Um, but it is what it is. Got to stay up with the usual junk. Let me pull up my itinerary here. And then I also want to check what episode this is. I want to say. Why can't I find this? There we are. Okay, so this is episode 26. Wow, look at that. 26 episodes. All right, so yeah, first off, we are going to get into the NFL as always. So let's go over the picks that I had for last week. Last week was week 13. I'm sorry, last week was week 14. And then we started off with that Monday night game of the week 13. It was the Saints versus the Bucks. The Buccaneers ended up winning that game. It was a pretty shitty game. I didn't watch it. I just watched the highlights and it looked really bad. And the Buccaneers look really bad. So let's just forget about that game. So let's jump right into some better high quality games. Um, all right, so we had Raiders Rams. The Raiders actually ended up losing to the Rams by 1 point. It was 17-16. I was so fucking close. And Devontae Adams did not play well at all for me, so it kind of fucked me over in fantasy here. But it is what it is. I'll get into the fantasy and how I'm going to lose later, but whatever. We'll get into it. I might lose my first place seeding. All right, so then Vikings and Lions. Lions actually ended up beating the Vikings somehow in a 34-23 win. That was pretty crazy. Ravens beat the Steelers 16-14. I got that one right. Browns and Bengals. Bengals beat the Browns 23-10. That's another win for me. Um, Jets and Bills. Bills beat the Jets 20-12. I thought it was going to be a bigger differential there, but I guess not. Cowboys and Texans. Cowboys beat the Texans 27-23. Somehow the Cowboys didn't absolutely dominate them. I have no idea how. I didn't really watch the game. Eagles actually beat the Giants 48-22. Pretty big differential there. I thought it was gonna be a little bit closer. Jaguars and Titans. The Jags actually ended up beating the Titans in a big upset there, 36-22. I got that one wrong. I did not expect them to actually win that. And then the Panthers Seahawks game. Um, the Panthers actually beat the Seahawks 30-24, which is kind of crazy. So it's another loss for me. Chiefs and Broncos. The Chiefs ended up beating the Broncos, but they didn't play well enough to really put me over the edge here. Um, then 49ers actually ended up shitting all over the Buccaneers 35-7. I picked the Bucks on that one. Dolphins and Chargers. Dolphins actually ended up losing to the Chargers 23-17. I don't know how that happened. And then we have the Monday night game, which is Patriots Cardinals. And I'm picking the Patriots for whatever fucking reason. So um, last week was not so hot for me. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games out of all the games that I picked that were actually correct. Everything else I got fucking blasted on. So it is what it is. You can't win them all. I had a pretty decent week last week, but it finally catches up to you after you win. After a certain amount of times, it just catches up to you. So it is what it is. But we'll go into week 15 predictions right after I go over my fantasy team. So I am currently at 98.78 points. I've got one more player to play. It's going to be Hunter Henry, who's the tight end um, for New England. I'm currently down by about 20 points. The guy I'm facing has 118 points and 118.44 points. So he is more than likely going to win because he has one more person to play as well. He's got a running back on Arizona. So unless his running back gets no points and my tight end gets 20 plus, I'm basically gonna lose, so I think this is gonna drop me down into 2nd place because the guy right behind me, I think he's wins this week. Let me double check. Yeah, so he's winning this week. He's actually playing really well this week, and he's getting a lot of points. So he's like right behind me in terms of amount of points. So yeah, he's probably going to take over that first spot, which kind of sucks because I would really like to stay in first. But it is what it is. So whatever, can't win them all. I was on a pretty hot winning streak, so I mean, this is only gonna be my third loss, but you kind of want to keep as much of a lead differential as possible in fantasy. You don't want it to be too close, but it is what it is. So let's go into the week 15? Wow, it's crazy. Already week 15. I can't believe it. I was just talking about how excited I was for this season, and here we are at week 15. All right, let's go to week 15 picks. We've got the Thursday night game, and then we got a bunch of Saturday night games, so this is gonna be dope. Thursday night game is Niners Seahawks, um, and I think you kind of have to go with the Niners here, just off of recent performance, even if they have their third string quarterback in. Um, Then we got Saturday at 1 p.m. We have Colts Vikings. Both these teams are on a slide. Vikings, I think, have actually not been playing super well, but I think they're a better overall team than the Colts anyway. So I'll go with the Vikings. 4:30 Saturday is Ravens Browns. That should actually be a good game because both these teams are playing super well either. But I don't know if what's his face, Lamar Jackson is going to play. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Browns, just because why not? And then the last Saturday night game is going to be Bills Dolphins, which is going to be pretty exciting. I think this is probably going to be a close game, but I still think the Bills kind of squeak this one out, even though their defense is kind of lackluster now that Von Miller is out. But it is what it is. And then we got first of the Sunday games, Eagles Bears. There's no possible chance that the Eagles lose this game. If they do, it's a massive upset. So I'm going Eagles. Lions Jets might actually be a better game than I expect. That is in Jersey or wherever their stadium is now. I'm gonna go with the Jets though. I think they're just a better team. Steelers, Panthers. I don't know what to make of this game. I'll just go with the Panthers, I guess, just because they won last week. Chiefs, Texans. I really hope that the Chiefs absolutely dump all over the Texans. It's gonna be in Houston, but I don't know. I feel like the Chiefs. They're just dropping the ball in a lot of games recently, and I don't know why. They should be running up the score, but they're not. But I don't know. It is what it is. Falcons and Saints don't really care about this game at all. Both of these teams got to suck, but I just think the Falcons are probably a little bit of a better team. Cowboys Jaguars is actually pretty interesting. Um, Even though it is in Duval County out there, Jacksonville, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Cardinals Broncos is going to be an absolute donkey fest. But I'm going with Cardinals because the Broncos are absolute dog shit. Patriots Raiders is going to be an interesting game. That is in Vegas, but I don't know because both these teams have not been playing well at all. Um, who do I trust more to win this game? I don't know. Honestly, fuck it. I'm just gonna go Patriots just because I'm a Patriots fan, but I would not be surprised if it's a coin flip game. Titans Chargers is another interesting game. Um, Man, Titans have not been playing well, but neither have the Chargers, even though they just won. But I'll go Chargers just to make it fun. Then we have Bengals Buccaneers. My God, that's gonna be a fucking. I gotta go Bengals here just because the Bucks have been playing so fucking bad lately. Giants Commanders should actually be a fun game. Commanders coming off of a bye, Giants coming off of a loss. I'm gonna go Giants though. And then Rams Packers should be a good game. Rams coming off of a win, Packers coming off of a bye. I still think you go Packers here, even though they have a really bad record. So we'll go with that. So for picks, we're going 49ers, Vikings, Browns, Bills, Eagles, Jets, Panthers, Chiefs, Falcons, Cowboys, Cardinals, Patriots, Chargers, Bengals, Giants, and Packers. So we'll see how that goes. That was last week was pretty interesting. This week is gonna be, I think, a little bit more interesting just because I think there's a little bit of better matchups, but we'll see what happens. And then week 16, that is going to be all Christmas Eve games, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then we've got one, two, three Christmas Day games. That'll be a lot of fun. So um, keep an eye out for that one. Should be a whole lot of fun there. The Christmas Day games would be Packers and Dolphins. That game's in Miami. That should be a fun game. Broncos Rams. I don't think that's going to be very good. Buccaneers Cardinals does have potential to be a good game, but we will see. It's Christmas Day. Tom Brady Christmas touchdown Tommy. So we'll see what happens. And then what else do we have? I think that is it for the NFL. So now if I go back to my itinerary, I do believe the next is UFC. I did not watch this past weekend of UFC because I was not super hyped on it. And I'm kind of glad I didn't because the main card or the main fight on the card ended up in a draw. Let's take a look at the early prelims. Oh damn, Alex Hernandez actually ended up losing. That kind of sucks. I like him as a fighter. And then everyone else I don't care about on the early prelims. On the prelim card, that duel, that dude Raul Rosas, who's like 18 or something like that, he ended up winning, so good for him. He won the first round via submission. Um, Rosenstruck actually ended up winning in 23 seconds against Chris Dukakis. I thought that was going to be an absolute banger, but I guess they ended it really quick. Edmund Shabazian won in the second round by TKO as well, so good for him. Main card. Santiago Ponzinibbio ended up beating Alex Moreno. TKO. Paddy Pimblett ended up winning by decision in the third round. Ooh, I'm missing a couple here. Oh wow. Ilya Tapora ended up beating Bryce Mitchell by submission in round two. That's kind of big. I didn't expect that to actually happen. The Robbie Lawler fight had to be canceled. I don't know what happened there. Darren Till ended up losing to Dricus du Plessis via submission in the third round. That sucks. And then Santiago Ponzinibbio fight. Paddy Pimblett ended up winning by decision, which is nice because that just shows that he's a little bit more of a well-rounded fighter. He can go to decision. And then the Jan Blachowicz Magomed Ankalaev fight ended in a draw. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Next card is going to be UFC Fight Night. Jared Cannonier versus Sean Strickland, which I think should be a pretty big banger. That is coming up on the 17th, so that's this Saturday. The main card starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I'm going to try and actually watch this one. So we'll see how that goes. Main card's got Drew Dober, Bobby Green. That should be a good fight. Um, Armin Sarukian is fighting on the co-main. Then the Jared Karen and Sean Strickland fight should be sick. On the prelims, I don't see anything else. Yeah, I don't see anything really interesting on the prelims, so whatever. I'll just end up watching. I mean, a lot of these fights are listed on here were canceled. I'll just end up watching the main card. Should be good. I don't see anything else listed after that, so I don't know what they're gonna do to close out the year, but keep you guys posted. I'm probably gonna try and watch the Karen Strickland fight at least. But that's going to be it for the UFC portion. So next, I believe we're jumping right into the NHL, Bruins specifically. Let's take a look at the games going on. So let's take a look at the slate for tonight. Stars at Penguins. That should be a good game. Devils at Rangers. That's another good game. And then every other game on here is kind of lackluster. That Oilers Wild game might be kind of good, but looks like the Bruins, they won their last game against the Vegas Golden Knights. They beat them 3-1 in Vegas, which is good because they were actually coming off of a loss against the Coyotes, which is a huge upset. But I mean, it doesn't set them back too far, but it's pretty disappointing that they lose to such a subpar team. But last time I put out an episode was, let's take a look. Last Monday was the 5th, so they actually ended up losing to Vegas, so they got their revenge last night. So they ended up losing to Vegas in Boston in a shootout, so they lost 4-3, and then they went to beat the Avalanche 4-0, and then they lose to the Coyotes in Arizona 3-4, and then they come to Vegas and they beat the Golden Knights 3-1. Um, So still a good record, but just like dropping some games that they shouldn't, specifically that Coyotes game. And then tomorrow they are playing the Islanders at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Boston. So they do have a good, decent amount of games that they should be winning here. Um, Again, I just want to kind of see them keeping up a good pace and like winning a lot of games, but they do need to improve their defense because if they're just going to keep letting these guys score goals, they can't always outscore every single fucking team. Before the trade deadline, they need to grab some like a top four defender or something like that, like someone to really help us out here in the defense because we do have good goalies, but if the other team's taking 100 shots on goal, they can only save so many. Excuse me, I had to get some water. Um, but the Bruins still looking good. They're 45 points, still leading the Eastern Conference Atlantic Division. Um, 22 wins, 4 losses, and 1 overtime loss. So not a bad record, but I mean, obviously it's a good record, but you just kind of want to see them like pushing out in front ahead and try to keep this momentum. In the Metro Division, the Devils are still leading 21-5-1 with 43 points, so they're looking really good. Bruins are going to be playing the Devils here soon in a couple games, so that's going to be exciting to watch. In the Central Division, the Jets are actually tied with the Dallas Stars at 37 points. So that Central Division is kind of all over the place, especially with the Colorado Avalanche in third, trying to get their way back up there. And then the Pacific Division, it is Vegas ahead, then the Seattle Kraken right behind them, and then the LA Kings right behind them as well. So pretty interesting. I think the playoff picture as of right now is looking pretty cool and pretty interesting. So keep an eye on that. And then we're gonna go on to the hardwood with basketball. Let's take a look at. We have any good games tonight? Um, we got the Celtics and the Clippers tonight, and they start at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time because they're playing in LA. I would expect the Celtics to win this game, but um, I don't know. You never know because it's like playing in LA. It's like a tough road scene. Last time. All right, so last time I put out an episode, they just beat the Toronto Raptors in Toronto 116 to 110. Then they went on to absolutely shit all over the Phoenix Suns 125 to 98, which is a really big win for them. Then they unfortunately lost to Golden State in Golden State 107 to 123. So they are basically going to play like all of those California teams. So it's just a terrible, terrible run. So I don't wouldn't be surprised if they lose tonight as well. Um, so they play Golden State, the Clippers, and then they play the Lakers, all away games. So that kind of sucks. I mean, they're just kind of like in LA. It's going to be hard to like not want to go out there and just have fun and like hard to be focused for those kinds of games, because you're in Boston for the majority of the year and it's cold and depressing and there's ugly people all over the place, and then you're in LA for like what seems to be like 2.5 weeks and it's just like gorgeous people everywhere and the weather's beautiful. Like you know what I mean? You just don't want to play. You just want to like, go out, walk on the beach, and get your dick sucked. So it is what it is. I can understand if they drop these games, but and then after that, their next home game is going to be against the Orlando Magic, and they're playing the Magic back to back, so 2 games. Let's see, they are playing on Christmas Day as well. They are playing the Milwaukee Bucks at home on Christmas Day, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That should be a pretty good fucking game. So keep an eye on that. Celtics still lead the Eastern Conference with 21-6. Right behind them is the Bucks at 19-7. So um, pretty close, but it's nice to see them still kind of topping the tables there. And in the Western Conference, the Pelicans are actually in first place at 18-8. Right behind them is the Grizzlies at 17-9. For whatever reason, the Pelicans are on a 7-game win streak. Kind of nice to see somebody else topping the table of the Western Conference, but it kind of seems like this year the Western Conference is weaker, whereas every other year the Eastern Conference seems like it's been had like 2 good teams, and then everyone else kind of drops off. Whereas the Western Conference is always like 6 teams that were like up there that were all really fucking good. But um, I don't know, a little bit of parity here in the league, which is kind of nice because it's not the same exact fucking teams over and over again. I wouldn't mind to see the Pelicans in the playoffs and make a deep run, and hopefully Zion Williams can stay healthy and play hard. But I don't know, we'll fucking see. And then I do want to take a look at the slate of games for Christmas Day. Where is December 20. This is kind of far in the future, but I just wanted to go look at the Christmas Day games. Okay, so Christmas Day games are 76ers and Knicks. That should actually be pretty kind of interesting. Lakers, Mavs, Bucks, Celtics, which I already mentioned, Grizzlies, Warriors, and Suns, Nuggets. Those are actually kind of pretty good games. The Suns, Nuggets is at 10:30. I'm not gonna fucking stay up and watch that, but this be some pretty good games. The Suns Nuggets game would be pretty interesting, and the Bucks Celtics game should be pretty fucking good too. So keep an eye out on that. And then I think the next we were going to go to is going to be the World Cup pretty quickly here. Um, so where are we? All right, so as of Monday, December 5th, we had already talked about Argentina beating Australia and then Netherlands beating the US. So then after that, Croatia ended up beating Japan in a shootout, and then Brazil ended up beating South Korea 4-1. And then what else do we have? Morocco ended up beating Spain, and then Portugal ended up beating Switzerland. But then after that, a whole lot of shit transpired where it was pretty interesting. Argentina ended up beating the Netherlands in a shootout. Croatia ended up beating Brazil in a shootout. Pretty hype. France ended up beating England 2-1, and then Morocco ended up upsetting Portugal 1-0. So that I did not expect to happen. I thought Portugal was absolutely shit on them, but cool to see with the Moroccans. You know, I think they're the only African country left? Is Morocco in Africa? Let me double check. Morocco. It is. It's in North Africa. So there you go. Good for them. So the upcoming games would be Argentina and Croatia tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That should be a banger. If the Croatians set up or upset the Argentinians, I don't know what's going to happen. The world might catch on fire. And then France, Morocco. That's gonna be a banger as well. I didn't expect Morocco to make it this far, but here they are. Um, If I had to guess, I would say Argentina and France advance, and then it's going to be Argentina who wins the whole thing. But crazier things have happened. I mean, all these teams left are really good. So as you can see, they're kind of cutting their teeth and gritting it out on this one and um, really making this whole tournament fun. So it is what it is. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really been watching a lot of the games now that the U.S. is out, but I do like keeping up with it and watching it or transpire, I guess. Sorry to grab more water. Um, it's just cool. Not a big soccer guy, but it's cool. Um, but that's about it. I really don't have a whole lot else to say. It's gonna be a super short episode, but um, again, if I don't have a lot to say, then I'm not going to say a lot. I haven't really been able to catch up on any anime or manga. I might gonna try to watch some tonight. Um, been kind of busy these past weekends, just like going out and like doing stuff. This upcoming weekend, I am going to New York City, and then after that, I have the last 2 weeks of the month off, which I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did. Um, so effectively, I'll have the 19th through January 2nd off. So it's gonna be a whole lot of time for whatever I want, basically. So I'm gonna try and catch up on a lot of stuff then, and then try and get back into the anime and manga reviews because that's something that I've been meaning to do. It's been something that's lacking from my channel, and I want to do a little bit more longer podcasts instead of like the 30-minute range because I feel like just having a little bit more content is a little bit more entertaining than just like a 30-minute whatever. But I mean, no one listens to this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I just kind of want to have more to talk about and like feel like I'm doing more with my time. Um, so look forward to that. I might be hanging out with my brother in Rhode Island for after Christmas just to go hang out with him and then do some stuff for New Year's Eve. So um, yeah, expect another podcast coming out on the 19th. That's going to be me depicting, or maybe not the 19th. I might do it on the Tuesday because I'm going to be traveling back from New York on the 19th. So expect a podcast around then, 19th or 20th. 20th if I'm too lazy on the 19th. Basically depicting all my stories on New York, what I checked out, what I looked at, any crazy stories, any crazy shit that happened from then. But guys, I think that's going to be it. It was a blast. Again, Back by Bone podcast, episode 26, I think it was. Yeah, 26. Again, as always, I'm your host, Chris, aka Don Burgundy on the internet. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this to all your fucking friends. All my links are down the bottom. Get out there, go get your dick wet, and happy holidays. All right, guys. Peace.